Look around you. What do you see? Is it just the present moment, or can you sense the echoes of the past? Perhaps a clock ticking on the wall, a silent witness to the passage of time, a calendar marking the date, a tool that helps us organize our lives, or a farmer tilling his land, continuing a tradition that has sustained humanity for millennia. These seemingly ordinary aspects of our lives have roots that stretch back thousands of years, to a time when civilization first blossomed in the fertile crescent of Mesopotamia. This cradle of civilization, nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, was a land of innovation and progress. It was here in ancient Sumer that humanity took its first steps towards organized society, leaving an indelible mark on the world we know today. The Sumerians built cities, developed complex social structures, and created a legacy that would influence countless generations. The Sumerians were pioneers in countless fields, laying the foundation for mathematics, astronomy, law, and governance. Their contributions to these disciplines were not just rudimentary, they were sophisticated and far-reaching, setting the stage for future advancements. These seemingly ordinary aspects of our lives have roots that stretch back thousands of years, to a time when civilization first blossomed in the fertile crescent of Mesopotamia. This cradle of civilization, nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, was a land of innovation and progress. Today, as we navigate a world shaped by technological marvels and complex social structures, it's crucial to remember the debt we owe to these ancient innovators. Their ingenuity laid the groundwork for the modern world, influencing everything from our legal systems to our scientific endeavors. The Sumerian legacy extends far beyond practical inventions. Their cultural and spiritual contributions are equally significant, offering insights into the human experience that are still relevant today. Their myths, stories, and religious beliefs offer a glimpse into the human psyche, exploring universal themes of love, loss, and the search for meaning. These narratives provide a window into the values and beliefs of a civilization that, despite the passage of time, remains deeply connected to our own. For example, the epic tale of Gilgamesh addresses questions of mortality and the human condition, themes that continue to resonate with readers thousands of years later. This ancient story, which explores friendship, heroism, and the quest for eternal life, speaks to the timeless nature of human concerns. The plot follows Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk, as he confronts the loss of his friend Enkidu, prompting him to reflect on the meaning of life and the inevitability of death. His journey in search of immortality reveals that, ultimately, no one can escape their fate, yet this does not diminish the beauty and significance of life. In this way, the work serves not only as a reflection of ancient values and beliefs, but also poses important questions that remain relevant today. What is the nature of friendship? What does it mean to be a hero? And how do we cope with our finitude? These philosophical reflections resonate with readers across different eras and cultures, fitting into the broader context of the human experience. The Epic of Gilgamesh has become a classic that has inspired many subsequent works of literature and art, remaining an important source of wisdom and inspiration for future generations. As we delve into the annals of Sumerian history, we embark on a captivating journey of discovery, uncovering the roots of our collective past and gaining a deeper understanding of ourselves. Each artifact, each inscription, is a piece of the puzzle that tells the story of our shared heritage, reminding us of the enduring legacy of ancient Sumer. Imagine a land nestled between two mighty rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. This fertile crescent, known as Mesopotamia, was the birthplace of Sumerian civilization. Situated in present-day Iraq, this region provided the perfect conditions for human ingenuity to flourish. The Sumerians, arriving in this region around 5000 BCE, faced a challenging environment. The rivers, while a source of life, were also prone to unpredictable floods. This forced the Sumerians to develop sophisticated irrigation systems and agricultural techniques, transforming the once arid land into a bountiful breadbasket. As their agricultural prowess grew, so did their settlements. Small villages transformed into bustling city-states, each ruled by its own king and patron deity. These city-states, such as Uruk, and Lagash, became centers of trade, religion, and culture, laying the groundwork for the development of urban life as we know it. The Sumerians, despite facing constant challenges from nature and neighboring city-states, managed to create a civilization that thrived for over 2,000 years. Their story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of innovation in the face of adversity. The Sumerians were not just builders of cities and inventors of tools, they were visionaries who laid the groundwork for many aspects of modern civilization. Their contributions went far beyond the physical structures they left behind. They were architects of complex social structures that laid the foundation for future civilizations. Their cities were bustling hubs of activity, each with its own unique identity and governance. At the heart of Sumerian society was the concept of the city-state, a self-governing entity with its own laws, rulers, and patron deities. These city-states were often centered around grand temples known as ziggurats, which served as both religious and administrative centers. The king, considered a representative of the gods, held significant power. He was seen as a divine intermediary, responsible for maintaining the favor of the gods and ensuring the prosperity of the city-state. However, he was not an absolute ruler. The king's decisions were often influenced by a council of elders and other influential citizens, who provided advice and consent on matters of state. Assemblies of elders and other influential citizens played a role in governance, offering a semblance of democratic principles. These assemblies could challenge the king's decisions and were instrumental in the administration of justice and the creation of laws. Justice in Sumerian society was administered through a codified system of laws, with the Code of Ur-Nammu being one of the earliest known examples. This code was a comprehensive legal document that outlined various laws and penalties, ensuring that justice was served fairly and consistently. This code addressed a wide range of offenses from murder and theft to family disputes and inheritance, reflecting a society concerned with order and fairness. Legal proceedings were conducted in public, and the accused had the right to defend themselves before a panel of judges. The Sumerians also demonstrated a remarkable sense of social responsibility. They believed in the importance of community and worked together to ensure the well-being of all citizens. They developed systems of communal granaries to provide food during times of scarcity. These granaries were managed by the state and were essential in preventing famine and ensuring that everyone had access to food. They also established institutions to care for the sick and less fortunate. These early forms of healthcare included the use of herbal remedies and surgical procedures, demonstrating their advanced understanding of medicine. These early forms of social welfare highlight the compassionate side of Sumerian society, a society that valued the well-being of its citizens. Their commitment to social responsibility and justice set a precedent for future civilizations, influencing the development of social and legal systems for generations to come. Imagine a world without the wheel, writing, or even the concept of timekeeping. A world where the most basic forms of communication and transportation were rudimentary at best, and the idea of recording history or keeping track of time was non-existent. This was the world before the Sumerians, a civilization that emerged in the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, around 4500 BCE. Driven by an insatiable curiosity and a desire to improve their lives, the Sumerians embarked on a journey of innovation that would forever change the course of human history. Their contributions laid the groundwork for many aspects of modern civilization. The Sumerians are credited with a staggering number of inventions and discoveries, each one a testament to their ingenuity and forward thinking. The invention of the wheel, around 3500 BCE, revolutionized transportation and agriculture. This simple yet profound innovation allowed for the creation of carts and chariots, making it easier to move heavy loads and travel greater distances. No longer reliant solely on human or animal power, they could now move goods and people more efficiently, fueling trade and communication. This not only boosted their economy, but also facilitated cultural exchanges with neighboring regions. Perhaps their most enduring contribution was the development of cuneiform, the world's first known writing system. This breakthrough allowed them to document their thoughts, ideas, and transactions in a permanent form. Using wedge-shaped marks impressed on clay tablets, the Sumerians recorded everything from business transactions and legal codes to myths, poetry, and even personal letters. This system of writing was a cornerstone of their society, enabling them to maintain records and pass down knowledge through generations. This invention unlocked the doors to literacy, knowledge preservation, and the transmission of culture across generations. It allowed for the creation of libraries and schools, where scribes and scholars could study and teach. Their thirst for knowledge extended to the heavens. The Sumerians were keen astronomers, meticulously charting the movements of celestial bodies. They observed the stars and planets, seeking to understand the cosmos and its influence on their lives. The Sumerians were keen astronomers, meticulously charting the movements of celestial bodies. They created detailed star charts and developed early forms of astrology, believing that the positions of the stars and planets could influence human affairs. The Sumerians introduced concepts that are familiar to us today, such as the zodiac, the circle divided into 360 degrees, and the sexagesimal base 60 number system. They were the ones who divided the year into 12 months, the week into 7 days, the day into 24 hours, and the hour into 60 minutes. Sumerian astronomers meticulously described the structure of the solar system, accurately calculated the ephemerides of celestial bodies, determined the periods of lunar and solar eclipses, created a lunar calendar, and even tracked the movements of Jupiter. Meanwhile, architects built magnificent ziggurats and skilled artisans crafted exquisite jewelry. While the rest of humanity was still living a nomadic lifestyle, dwelling in caves and relying on foraging, Sumerian physicians were conducting psychotherapy sessions, performing cataract surgeries, and enlightening the populace about the benefits of a healthy lifestyle. The breakthrough made by the Sumerians in such vast fields of exact sciences and applied knowledge over such a relatively short historical period is beyond the comprehension of scholars. They also reject the explanations provided by the Sumerians themselves, for that would imply acknowledging that higher beings from the pantheon of gods shared their knowledge with them in the dawn of time, and that the cradle of humanity was the mythical island of Dilmun, which allegedly existed hundreds of thousands of years ago. At the end of the 19th century, the so-called Sumerian question was formulated, a topic still relevant today. In 1849, at the site of the ruins of the city of Sippar, archaeologist Henry Layard's team uncovered more than 20,000 Sumerian clay tablets. About a dozen of these described the mythical Garden of Eden. Researcher of Sumerian Akkadian writing, Anton Parks, studied these tablets and proposed his own interpretation of their translation. In his view, the Garden of Eden is a place where people worked for the benefit of the gods and were used as slaves. One of the most mysterious aspects of Sumerian, Akkadian, and Egyptian epics is the myth of the creation of humans by colonists from other planets. According to one of the popular versions, they suffered defeat in a cosmic war and were forced to find a new planet for habitation. Landed on Earth around 450,000 years ago, the beings referred to by the Sumerians as gods began to actively explore the territory. Realizing the hardships of exhausting physical labor, the ordinary colonists implored the mission leaders, gods Enlil and Enki, to relieve them of their burdensome toil. Thus, according to the Sumerian epic, the idea of creating humans for this purpose emerged, which was subsequently successfully realized by Enki and his wife Ninhursag. Now let's dive into the fascinating world of the ancient Mesopotamian pantheon by introducing you to two of its brightest deities, Enlil and Enki. This enigmatic god is essentially the lord of the air and the master of winds. Imagine this, he's the supreme god, the king of all the deities. People believed he controlled the weather and held sway over humanity's fate. So, if you ever found yourself in a storm, chances are it was Enlil unleashing his power upon you. Here are a few key points about Enlil. He wields immense power and occupies the highest rank among the celestial beings. Enlil is credited with bringing humanity into the world to serve the gods, controlling the destinies of all people. When angered, he could summon floods and destructive winds. In the divine hierarchy, if there was an enemy among the gods, it was definitely Enlil. But even the mightiest sometimes clash with others, like with Enki. He is the god of wisdom, magic, and of course, water. His name translates to Lord of the Earth, and he embodies that benevolent wizard archetype who generously shares his knowledge with humanity. So, what makes Enki so special? He brought life to the earth through fresh water and knowledge. It was Enki who fashioned the first humans, responding to the other gods' pleas for helpers.
He uses his cunning and wisdom to shield people from Enlil's wrath. Enki also represented abundance and prosperity, fostering agricultural growth and ensuring the welfare of people. Enki held great significance for the Sumerians, and his cult flourished throughout the history of Mesopotamia, including the Akkadian, Assyrian, and Babylonian cultures. The most authoritative proponent and popularizer of the idea of paleocontacts and the extraterrestrial origin of humanity was the writer, cryptohistorian, and journalist Zecharia Sitchin, who lived from 1920 to 2010. The author of 11 best-selling books and numerous publications, he independently studied Sumerian cuneiform and visited the excavation sites of several archaeological monuments. Sitchin claimed to have found the roots of Sumerian culture and linked them to the Nephilim, giants who arrived on Earth from the planet Nibiru. He associated the appearance of Earth, the Moon, the asteroid belt, and comets with the planet Tiamat, which split apart due to a collision. According to his interpretation, Nibiru orbits in an elongated elliptical path and passes through our solar system once every 3,600 years. In deciphering cuneiform, Sitchin draws parallels with biblical texts, and asserts that some of the positions in scripture are merely relatively free retellings of the Sumerian epic. Traditionally, the author's followers occasionally note signs in the sky indicative of the approaching formidable Nibiru, announcing in his name the impending end of times. While the scientific community regards Sitchin's theory as a free improvisation in the genre of commercial fantasy, criticizing him for poor translation quality, astronomical and scientific discrepancies, and a literal interpretation of myths. Let's consider this. One of the human chromosomes is used in 8% of the DNA of every human cell. Its sudden appearance could not possibly be the result of evolutionary processes. So where did it come from? According to one alternative version, the answer can be found in Sumerian texts. Its artificial emergence is the result of a controlled genetic experiment by the god Enki with Homo erectus, who already inhabited the earth at that time. This explains the sudden acquisition of divine genes that separate Homo sapiens from any other existing earthly forms of life. It is these genes that contribute to the formation of the cerebral cortex, responsible for qualities such as logic, empathy, compassion, awareness of one's surroundings, and initiating the process of self-healing of the body. Thus, if we believe ancient sources, we should thank not evolution for the ability to watch this video, but the wise and cunning Enki. However, considering the views of the scientific community, the key word here remains if. In total, archaeologists have already unearthed about 1 million cuneiform tablets. The exploration of the enigmatic Sumerian civilization began almost as soon as archaeologists set foot in the mysterious land of Mesopotamia, with particularly vigorous activity happening in the 20th century. The first wave of systematic archaeological expeditions swept through the region in the 1800s, and by the 1840s, notable figures like Abraham Lincoln, Henry Rawlinson, and Leonard Woolley had started to delve into the captivating world of the Sumerians, their culture, writing, and artifacts. So if we look at it timeline-wise, it's safe to say we've been uncovering the secrets of this ancient civilization for over 180 years. However, there's a catch. Many aspects of Sumerian culture, language, and social structure remain shrouded in mystery, sparking intrigue and debate among historians and archaeologists. Today, cutting-edge technologies such as radar scanning, 3D modeling, and genetic research are enabling researchers to unlock new secrets of this magnificent civilization. The work continues and will likely persist for many years to come, as key questions about the Sumerians and their legacy remain unanswered. Who exactly were the Sumerians? Where did they come from? And what led to their emergence in Mesopotamia? Why did this once thriving civilization cease to exist? What social, economic, and environmental factors contributed to its decline? And of course, the most intriguing question: how did humans come to be? Is it the result of natural evolution, or was it divine intervention, which scientists tend to reject? Let's hope that soon we'll find clear answers to these questions. That's all for now, friends. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time.